Well, folks, one of the things we had to do today with Omar is we had to break down this lawsuit that National Association of Realtors have lost, the $1.8 billion ruling, which undoubtedly will be appealed. I'm sure we will have years of lawsuits, and the only people getting rich will be lawyers. But I actually have a question for Omar that I just have to ask. But before we do that, let's welcome to the show. How you doing, man?
Good. What's up, Michael? What's up, everybody? Thanks for having
So,
me every Tuesday, baby. Let's go.
there you go. So let's remind folks, how long have you been a licensed real estate agent and how long have you been a licensed broker, roughly?
I've been in the real estate business since 2002. So it's been a while. And as a broker, I think I've had my broker's license for, was it 8 years?
Okay.
8 or
So
9 years? Yeah.
I've read a lot about the lawsuit. Basically, the whole 6% commission, three for the buyer, three for the seller. That's in dispute. Frankly, I always thought commissions were negotiable. So maybe there was
They
a
are.
standard. I'm not going to get into legalese, but one of the things that I was thinking about was like the second order derivative or what happens next. So I just want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
After this ruling came out, after the earthquake, the shock of all of this, one, commissions are negotiable. I think
Always have
that's
been. Yeah.
always have been, right? Maybe there was a
Uh-huh.
standard, and again, not going to go there. Commissions are negotiable. But now that it's kind of like, hey, commissions are negotiable, is it possible that listing agents who really create the inventory, right?
Right.
Who have the conversations with the sellers, who are talking about how best to list and clean up their property and market property, and who are spending all that money on flyers and open houses, right? Who are doing a lot of the upfront work. Is it possible that maybe what they do is ask for a bigger split? Maybe they ask for
Right.
4.5, 5%. And then you know what? Let's just give the buyer 1%, buyer's agent 1%, or shoot, maybe let's just give the buyer's agent $1,000 because they're not doing anything anyway, right? Is one of this outcomes here that the selling or aka listing agent takes all the money and buyer's agents get nothing? Could it go that direction?
This is crazy, Michael, because check this out. And I'll give you some context to this. As a real estate listing agent, right, in the beginning stages of my career, we were taking them at 5 or 6%, right, pretty standard. But then I started saying, like, what's the quickest way to increase my worth or my value, right? How do I gain more of a advance, right? So I started, and this was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when I was taking listings and offering less, not 3 and 3, like, oh my God, it was so unheard of. 3% to listing agent, 3% to the selling agent, right? The listing and the selling, whoever's representing the buyer. I started taking 1 more% to my side as a listing agent, right? I immediately gave myself a raise as a skilled professional, right? So I started doing that. And this is before escrow gave two separate commission checks. So there was a lot of heat because all the agents would see the commission instructions. They would see like, hey, why is Omar making more money than me when it should be split? Who says it should be split? No one ever. It was never like solidified that when you sign as a real estate broker or an agent that you have to split it 50-50. It does not say that anywhere. On your agreement, you could say, hey, total commission is X. Out of that number, I'm going to decide to give the selling agent 2%, 2.5%. So what I started doing, and this is a great topic because especially with this whole lawsuit, but commission's all negotiable. Like there could be a commission on a for sale by owner if they choose to. You and me sell a house and we want to give John Smith, because he put us in contact together, we're not going to give him 3%, 2%. We're going to give him, hey, you know what? Job well done. Here's 1,500. He's going to be cool with it because he put us together, right? So now being on the MLS, and the whole reason why they got sued, because they want to keep the MLS only to people that are licensed, right? Oh no, like we're only good. You can only get a commission if you're licensed and you're part of a board, right? So this is the funny thing. Now it's like, okay, well, shit, if we're part of a board, I'm going to start taking more listings, which is inevitable. But then as a seller, as a flipper, right? As an investor, I'm going to sell some of my properties. I'm only going to offer 1.5%. Who's going to tell me otherwise? I'm the seller as well. I'm agreeing to it. So I'm going to say 1.5 or 1% to a selling agent, which is a person that represents a buyer. And guess what that means? But also I'm thinking about it like, okay, Mr. Seller, I was skilled enough to go get a contract signed from you, Michael, and we discussed it. This is the path. This is our plan of action. And you're going to be like, oh, that's great. Yes, this is why I'm charging you 6%, because we are going to get a buyer for you. What ends up happening, Michael, when there's an agent that has a buyer and they want to go see this house? Then they look at the commission and say, oh, wait, it's only a 2%er. I've been guilty of that shit too as a buyer's agent, because I want my time and effort and energy to go somewhere where I'm going to get more money. Well, guess what? That buyer's agent's going to have to just deal with it or get better at their skills and go take listings.
Yeah.
Because who's going to control it? I am, right?
Listing,
the
yeah.
seller will. If I tell you, Michael, hey, it's a total of 6% commission. This is what we're going to do. And by the way, Mr. Seller, if I find the buyer, I'm going to drop that commission for you.
Right.
Because you know what? I'm going to do the same work anyways. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to say 5% on the listing side, and I'm just going to offer 1% to a selling agent. Because guess what? If they want to bring that buyer, awesome. You know, it's going to, they're going to get paid. But if that agent does not want to show your house, right, because of the commission, which some agents probably won't want to see it because of that lower commission, well, guess what? That buyer will end up calling me, and it's going to save you money, Mr. Seller. Oh, Omar, okay, great. Well, then if it's going to save me some money and I can get top dollar, let's go. And am I going to get a lot of shit for it? I'm sure. But you know what? At the end of the day, get better at your conversation with the seller. Find out exactly what kind of value you need to bring. This is why they just got sued. We're only specified a certain amount of commission. It doesn't say that you have to be 50-50. Never.
Okay.
So
okay.
This is a crazy topic that you brought up, and I love it because I've told my team, you want to get an instant pay raise? Get better at having conversation with sellers, and the minute you do, you price the properties in a way that they're going to sell, right? Not wishful listings, wishful pricing, right? Because then it doesn't matter what commission you put out there.
Right.
But you'll get the buyer. And if you end up getting the buyer, you control the outcome. So, moral of the story, get really good with your conversations with sellers.
Well, you know what? I want to play the other side of that.
Please.
Because again, I've been thinking a lot about this. And again, I'm talking about listing agents in this example. One of my thoughts or unintended consequences or whatever you want to call it that might come out of this is we actually get more for sale by owners. And what I mean by that is there will be companies like Zillow or Redfin or whatever they'll create some kind of online offering that says, hey, if you want to sell your home, come list with us for $5,000 or $2,000 or whatever, some artificially low number. We will allow you to post 23 pictures and do this and do that and blah, 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 blah. And I think there will be a lot of sellers that take that option, cutting out the listing agent. But here's the real rub. Because the reason I love talking to you about this is because you're an agent, broker, and investor. If we get a lot of mom and pop, sellers going the Zillow, Redfin, Next app way, they're going to misprice their asset.
Oh, yes, they will.
they'll
They
misprice it.
will.
Now, some will misprice it high,
Right.
but some will
Uh,
misprice it low.
well, this is the thing. You're bypassing the commission, Michael.
Well,
You don't
yeah,
have to
exactly. Yeah, you got some
factor
little
in five or
fee
six
for
percent.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So in essence, it's the same thing that I'm doing as a seller, as a flipper,
exactly.
right? I'm only
Yeah,
going to put 1% out there. Well, fuck it. I'm sorry, 1%, 350,000, $3,500 to sell my property. I'm going to go put it on the market, a
yeah,
flat fee, $500 on the listing side. Okay. Well, I don't have to charge myself,
yeah.
right?
So
This is
again,
what
what
people are going to start doing. Yes.
I want to be really clear about this. I see, and again, this will be years in the making. There will be some online app or multiple online apps that sell ease of listing. You don't need a real estate agent. They're taking your money, blah, blah, blah. Come list with us.
I'll
People are
create
going to
it.
do it. Yeah, exactly. They're going to do it. But again, now they're not going to get any coaching. How many people know how to comp a property really? Not many.
It's not very
It's
many. No, no.
and how many people have you met in your lifetime? And I've met dozens, you've probably met hundreds who lived in their property for 10 or 20 years that really have no idea what their property's worth.
There's so
I
many.
dude, so in Sunnyvale, California, where I grew up, we had a next door neighbor whose house was rather run down. He had just it was run down. It was not livable when he was selling it. Actually, he passed away now that I remember. He passed away and his kids were selling it. They were out of the area. They came to see the house and realized it needed to be torn down. They came to my mom, and I happened to be there, I believe, and asked what do they thought it was worth. They had thought, because again, they were from out of area, that in Sunnyvale, California at the time, they thought it was worth, 100 grand. My mom told them that the lot by itself was worth 800 grand.
Oh my gosh.
They would have sold that property for 100 grand and been happy if they didn't have a trusted neighbor or professional that said, no, 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 honey. The house doesn't matter. The lot's worth 800 all day long. Right? Because this is a big ass quarter-acre lot in the middle of Sunnyvale by Cupertino. And so where I'm going with this is there are going to be so many people that take the easy way out that misprice their asset. And people like us who do the work, we're going to gobble them up and not feel bad about it. You know what? You list that property for 100 grand. I'll give you 110, close tomorrow.
All day.
And then I'll, flip it for 750 and make $500,000. All because it is going to be perceived easier to list. That is a real fear of mine that's going to happen to people.
It won't be a fear if you're the other person that's picking it up.
Well, I mean,
Michael.
it's a fear no matter what. But
It is
but
true.
believe
You're
me,
right.
if somebody wants to list 100 grand property or 800 grand property at 100, I'll buy it. Don't get me wrong,
Cool.
I'll buy it.
Yeah.
But I still have
All of
that
us,
fear that again, I knew this family. I played with their son, right? I knew them. I think they had 3 kids, 2 girls and a son, I think. And they deserved the 800. That 800 made a difference in their life. The 100 grand, probably not. The 800 did. I just think there's going to be so many people that take the easy way out and get taken. It's a real fear.
And you know what? That alone is, imagine if, because Zillow doesn't really give the comp, it just gives a price. There's no real comping it. It's just based on what's just sold. Same with Redfin, same with Trulia, with all these, estimate values.
Yeah, then they have all these caveats, and it's like the move-in condition, and AR, and there is value in being able to comp and price properties. Now, be clear, I'm not saying all agents do that. Some agents pick numbers out of their ass and they couldn't do it. But I have seen homeowners misprice what they have.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's going to be a huge negative for in the future because of this.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things where we're going to see what happens. And like, you might be right. It might be sooner than later. Shit, it's going to, after this, put it this way, after more people start realizing, like, do I even need to hire someone and give away some of my equity? And I'm speaking devil's advocate here because I
Yeah.
am a broker and I am going to take listings and create commission checks, and that's just not going to stop, obviously,
Well,
right? Because we give the value based on comping and
it's your earlier point. You've got to be good at your job. I think the
yes,
fly by night, drive a BMW, drink 3 lattes, look good in a suit. Those days are over. You've got to be good at your task. You've got to communicate value. You've got to be able to talk about comping. You've got to talk about a plan to sell. You have to talk about a marketing plan. It's not, oh, sign a listing, put a sign in the ground, we're out. You got to
no,
get
not at
better at your
all.
job.
And you can still comp properties in a black t-shirt. It's fine.
Yeah,
You
no,
don't
you can.
need to.
Yeah,
You don't need a nice suit. You play the part, but
yeah,
still.
yeah, exactly. Be about
But
it. Don't
yeah, this
pretend
is
to be
good.
about it. Yeah, yeah.
Be about it. Don't pretend to be about it.
There you
Oh,
go.
I like that. That is. I'm gonna write that down. Be about it. Don't pretend to
There you go.
be
Well, Omar,
about it.
where can people find you if they want to buy or sell or become part of the team in the high desert? How do they do that?
Guys, follow me on IG and at Invest with Omar, or go to my website, omaralfaro.com. And yeah, I'm here. You guys, let me know if you guys have any questions. I appreciate
Awesome, man.
all of you.
Thank you so much.